Hi, I am Mark Stewart, and I wanted to speak about municipalities and the states that house them. I'm in particular speaking to Vermonters. I'll be in Vermont leading up to the March 3rd primary, but going onward, I am hoping you take this message. Don't go big, as Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders would like with so many things. Please recognize that going small is almost certainly better. It is better for environmental protection to trust your local municipality for the best guidelines and for enforcing them. EPA and even state agencies, they overlook stuff. They're tainted by other people that influence them and other companies that influence them. And they influence them often for bad. Companies that want to pollute tend to get their way to some level. Municipalities can actually stand up to them. You're putting too much crap in our groundwater. You are polluting more than we want. You're burning things that we don't want in our town. You may have to expand to regional. Fine, do that. But it's a last resort that should be to put your trust in state and even worse, federal agencies. Look, the state of Vermont tried healthcare on a statewide basis. It was supposed to ensure all, be efficient, save costs. And they were going bankrupt really quickly. I mean, thank goodness they pulled the plug in Vermont really quickly so that you didn't indebt yourselves. A state agency could indebt a municipality. I'm in Connecticut, and we're on the verge of that happening to a lot of marginal and poorer towns. And here's how. They are about to knife the pensions that are owed teachers and instead put them on municipalities to pay those pensions. Well, a lot of them can't afford to pay those pensions. They will go bankrupt. The teachers that worked in those systems will be somewhat stiffed, and the municipalities themselves will have this blotch called a bankruptcy, which keeps them from borrowing, keeps them from attracting business. That is because of state mismanagement. And how many states manage themselves well? Vermont's not bad, but most do not. And so putting your trust in smaller government, and even no government, but organizations of private citizens getting together with the same interests, you do things better. The environment is better protected by your own forcefulness. Your workers' rights can be done more succinctly and more attuned with what's really needed when it is done small. People ask, Mark, why are you running so many times to try to get a message out? The reason is somebody's got to get through to the big spenders who are indebting grandchildren, okay? Kids might get through, grandchildren will not. At this pace, the likelihood of a 15-year-old now paying less than 60% of his income when he's 55 is very low. We're not going to be able to arrest what we've started unless we really change our way of governing. I'm a candidate for governing significantly less. By the way, it's not radical, it's constitutional. Governing significantly less is what did really well for us in the 1800s, even deeply into the 1900s to about the 1930s, okay? Our government under President Calvin Coolidge, a Vermonter, was lean, didn't let people starve, let projects get done. They called it the Roaring Twenties for a reason. Good economy in part because hands were off and hands were instead put to better use in community and individual buildups. That's what we can get back to. This is not radical. Radical is what's been happening over the last 80 years, where we keep putting our trust in government and not learning when it freaking disappoints. How many government endeavors follow through on their promises? Almost none. The government should be back to its constitutional parameters. That's about 18 different powers entrusted to the Congress, a few extras entrusted to the president, none entrusted to bureaucrats. None. The next president should be the one that begins to peel off every single page of what's in the Code of Federal Regulations, because not one of those regulations was voted on by Congress. They were empowered, and then Congress just sort of looks away while unelected bureaucrats do their thing. In the part, they disempower us. They give more power to agencies that we didn't elect. We can and should go back. We didn't have a Code of Federal Regulations in Coolidge's time, and we were fine. Let's get back to it. I don't mean for a sharp break, but a 2 or 3 year transition back to a better government, the kind that ran things very well for the first 150 years of our nation. I'm Mark Stewart. Yes, I am on the ballot in 3 states. I hope you will look us up, stewartforliberty.com.